today we're going to do a book review on The Land of Stories, Grimm Warning, the third book to the series by Chris Colfer. And in this book, in the last book, it ends when Alex stays in the fairy tale world and Connor goes back to the regular world?
The regular world,
regular world,
the mortal world, I guess.
With his mom. And Alex, does she begin fairy training?
Yeah, she stays in the fairy tale world to start her training with her grandmother, the fairy godmother. So that's where it ends. And then so this book picks up where that one left off, I guess. So Alex is in the fairy tale world and Connor is in the real world, or the mortal world. And it turns out that Connor has been writing these stories about the fairy tale world, and the teacher really likes them. He thinks that, or she thinks that he does a really great job and he has potential as a writer. So they invite him to this trip to Germany with a few of his classmates. So they go to Germany on this trip, and of course he takes this little piece of this mirror. That way he can contact his sister in the fairy tale world, because that's the way that they communicate with each other.
It's like a magic mirror.
Yeah. So he ends up going on this trip to Germany, and of course there's some bad things going on in the fairy tale world that they need to save it. And it is, who is it that contacts him?
The Mother Goose.
Mother Goose. Yeah, Mother Goose. Go ahead, tell him about what Mother Goose does.
And Mother Goose contacts Connor to tell him that the fairy tale world and Alex are in danger because there was an army that the fairy godmother trapped in the portal hundreds of years ago. And they just figured out about it, and they're trying to help them so the army doesn't get to them and hurt all the fairies in the fairy tale world. So that happens, and then Connor and his friend Bree, who also went on the trip, they go on an adventure, I guess. They separate from the class, and they go on their own little trip, I guess, to find, because Mother Goose gave them, there's a portal in Germany that they need to go to, and they just need a little bit of magic to open it up. So they have to find a panpipe to open the portal. Yeah.
So they end up doing that, and along the way they meet this guy named Emmerich, who actually helps them get into the building that has this portal in it. And it turns out that all of them end up going into the portal, and they all go into the fairy tale world. So Emmerich, Bree, and Connor all end up back in the fairy tale world. And so basically they're trying to defeat this army, the Grand Army. They actually break all the prisoners out of Pinocchio prison. They break all of them out, and the masked man is actually the mastermind behind this whole thing. He actually tells them, "Oh, I know how you can defeat the fairies. I know where you can get a dragon egg." So they raise this dragon, trying to defeat everybody. And through all this, Connor and Alex have to use their magic, of course, to try and find a way to defeat them. So everybody's in danger, and basically they share the fairy tale world with their mortal friends. And during the book, actually, something really devastating happens. The grandma is actually getting old. Now that Alex is old enough, they are actually, I hate to give it away, but she's actually going to be taking the grandmother's place. She's actually going to be
fairy godmother.
The fairy godmother, yeah. So the grandma ends up sick in this book. They basically have to do all of it themselves, teaming up with the fairies and the goblins and all the other kingdoms. They have everybody teaming up together. Red Riding Hood, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, all the characters actually, they get all the armies together. That way they have one huge army to defeat the Grand Army.
And it was difficult for them because there was a dragon which hasn't been alive for
since the dragon ages. Yeah, they defeated all the dragons.
And there was one egg left behind, I guess, and they had to defeat the dragon again. And it was very difficult for them to do that. And
yeah, so that's basically the gist of the book. They're just trying to defeat the Grand Army. And in the end, of course, it wouldn't be the Land of Stories without a tearful ending. So this one definitely gives you a tearful ending as well. One, I guess, that you kind of expected, but one that you wish would not happen. So yeah, so this book was good. She said it's actually one of her favorites in the whole series so far. And we are definitely going to continue reading this series because we really enjoy it. And hopefully you can read it with your children, or your children can read it by themselves. It's definitely a great story, a new twist on the fairy tales. Once again, Land of Stories, Grimm Warning, check it out. And until next time, enjoy the adventure.